Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar from DayTradingRadio.com with a market radar for January 13th. The last market radar we put out over the weekend, and we discussed this lower trend line, and we waited for a rotation. We knew that we were getting down. Again, just a couple of days ago, we did come down to this line, and from this point on, I remember we've did a big study. If you go back to Day Trading Radio, go back into the latest post, last week's post, the market radar that came out over the weekend discussing this week's action. As we got down to this lower trend line, it meant a lot because it's multiple indicators are lining up. Some of the things we pay attention to, first of all, that daily stochastic rotation, which has been just key. It's been key for the last 2.5 years. As far as I can go back here, I actually made some lines here to kind of represent each time we got oversold. And you can see from each level here, I put a little yellow circle to kind of represent that, and then overlaid, superimposed that with the 60-minute time frame. Now, each 60-minute oversold time frame, when it falls inside or around that yellow, that's when we have a dual time frame set up. And you can see this doesn't have the yellow. This is just a regular 60. But when we have a 60 and a daily set up, you can see the bigger moves. Here's one here. Here's one here. Here's one here. And here's one here. And now, recently, we just had one. So we had that 60-minute going into this market radar last week or the beginning of this week. And that really gives us what we're looking for. Let me just get this up here a second. No, just inserted that blue. And we're going to take a look at that 60-minute time frame now. This is important because once you get down there, it does take a couple days. So we kind of measured it out. We were looking for a reversal either Monday or Tuesday. Now, Monday came, yesterday came, and we kind of got flatlined. And we actually, as we got oversold here, we actually pushed up a little and then failed and got back down here and started getting embedded. And this little drive lower was very, pretty severe. It didn't look very healthy on the charts, and we had a lot of bearish, negative talk coming out of the markets. And we knew that we were extended here on the hourly. We were extended on the daily, but typically we don't stay down here that long. So we knew that we were going to eventually get a pop off of this. And now we got a little further extension, kind of blew through there, and then just today we started to turn back up. We started turning back up. It chopped around, and then this is where we left off. So we left off in this kind of a slight bullish scenario on the hourly, where we had this pointed back. We're off the lows. We did break through some trend lines. There was some real steep trend lines we finally got through. There was one back here, just a very tight trend line. We draw it straight down here, and we broke through it, kind of pulled back and popped back up. And that's what we're going into tomorrow, midweek on a Wednesday. We had that daily 60. The 60 started to curl back up. It's starting to get extended there, but not quite there yet. All right, it's more interesting when you look at the S&P or the futures setups here, the S&P mini futures. It's much more. Can we break them down? This is looking at the bird's eye view of everything, looking at the daily 60, understanding the bigger trend. This is where we want, we focus our HPS setups based off of market direction, market momentum, and strength. You want to be with the market. And at this point, we knew that the market was negative, but we have a shot of actually rotating back up. And there's still a lot of negative comments going out there, expecting not this, the new lows, these lows back here to be taken out, and we're not done. There's a couple positives here. We had that big reversal candle yesterday. We had a follow-through candle today. Again, that daily starting to cross back up. So there's a lot of interesting things, just like we had back here, back in August, where we got that violent selling coming in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of selling. Then we had that big rally back, a snapback, 50% rally into that drop. Now here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 down days. We had a little consolidation day, and then we haven't gotten that big bounce, but that could be happening. That could be happening tomorrow. Love to see that happen, push back into this pattern. And the question I ask you, and everyone else is going to be wondering, again, things have changed. Things gotten really negative. A lot of people talking about the markets going lower. What happens if the market here just kind of maintains the signal? The signal here is just starting to push back up. Will we move back up into this channel? It's a pretty decent channel. It's a retracement trend line. We came down to, we pushed back into it. We have a couple levels to watch of overhead resistance. That was support that we broke down. So that would be our first level up around 2,000. We need to get through that. We pretty much break this down on the 1 minute chart. So just kind of giving you those big lines to look at right now. But you can see we have an upside target back up into that zone. And, if we get through there, we start working this channel again, it's going to be very interesting. So let's take a look at the futures chart. All right, now I want to start off this morning. That's what I wanted to actually start off this morning. We're going to zoom out. This is the overnight. This is, again, right before the market opened up. 9:30 we opened up. We moved higher. I want to zoom out here. You can see this is the last couple days. And what we're working with is this bigger wedge pattern. So we knew going into today we also had a very bullish pattern. The wedge patterns have been key. The bigger the wedge, the bigger the move. But the bigger the wedge, if you can find this on the 15, the 60-minute time frame, which we definitely see it on the 60, that's a good sign for an extended rally. The real small ones, the small little wedges, those represent good moves for those short time moves. But because we zoomed way out, and you can see this nice wedge, this compressed price action getting tighter and tighter, and then we break out to the upside, pull back, and then start to form this new channel. Now, if we zoom in, we'll start to see these micro wedges that are really, here's one right here, a much smaller wedge that happened today. We paid attention to this. We were very good. We picked up our calls today. I love this wedge pattern. I was banging the table right here. I said, this. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rotation right back up to the highs of the session. Well, we got back up to the open, and we ran out of time. You can see after hours here, we pulled back a little, and now starting to grind around here. But we got very close. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted to see today. Now we got to hold on to this. The setups during the day, if you pay attention to day trading radio during the day, you can see we had some really ideal. This was a lane divergence here. There was a lane divergence here. These are two big scalp moves. And this one, because the lane divergence, a ram in the bush lane divergence, and the pattern, bigger pattern, we have a measured move right up to here, and then we chopped out. And actually, we had what we call a flag setup, which is called a triple stochastic flag setup, where we have that rotation, the embedded stochastics, and we're holding that 20-period moving average. And from that point on, we popped up, and then we just continued to drive higher here. And then there was actually a couple little divergences there. We chopped around, and then at the end of the day, we had to be careful with the end of the day because we got some artificial action here. But the big story was this falling wedge pattern. And you got to love the wedge patterns. We see them on real small wedge patterns, which can be flags. A little flag like this can end up being a small little wedge. Or the bigger falling wedge pattern here, like this, is just something we search out. And that's you're going to get your big, especially when you have an underlying trend line, which we put down in blue here. And you can go back. You can see this tagged back here and right here. Two big levels. I mean, that's what this was all about. This is such a good trend line back here. Right here. And right here. Oh, well, you can see where it is. Kind of a bullseye there. So a nice push back up. And then once we got out of that, then we had another HPS zone back here with this wedge pattern. Again, a couple wedges playing in our favor. And this was another divergence. You put another HPS zone there. And that's where we left off. So, all right, in closing, I like our setup still for a push back up here to 1990 to 2000. Just understand that we have this kind of support line that broke down, and now we're going to use as resistance. I think this could happen pretty fast. I mean, I think we're overdue for a big candle to the upside. We have a great setup. The daily has not disappointed in a long time. So this is a big key move. We started to get our move today. Like I said, it was a nice, very nice little breakout here. There's a decent trend line. There's actually a big wedge pattern that played out. Everything worked out pretty good. Now we just need to get some follow through. We have a shot tomorrow for a big day. Will it happen? Good question. Is there any news out there that's going to affect the market? We're going to be watching that. Futures right now, just double check here before I send this out. They're up a buck and a quarter. So we're moving up a little. You can see the overnight trade here starting. And again, this, these futures will be up on the site all night here. All right, that's it. We'll see you in the markets tomorrow. Looking for a big day and a fun day. Great day today. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the markets.